People that's into using weapons that you got in your house, like kitchen, you have to use weapons like a kitchen knife. Number one in people getting stabbed in the United States and Europe, great knife fighters and stuff. I'm pretty keen on that. This is the guy who showed me about mine. He was Philippine, and he also worked with the Gurgans. That's Perez, Philippine master. He's dead now. He had stomach cancer, but he used to have an aura from hell. Very one of the nicest men you ever met. He was teaching all them people how to use knives and stuff. And I kind of liked him, so I took around with him. That was the main thing with me. We would take stuff like this and count this as a knife. This is the handle, and this would be the blade. We'll use stuff like this to practice knife fighting, or what the original name is, dueling with the knives. Because most guys will just do opposite everything. But I'm actually using a toy knife, but I'm going to change it around so you can see what I'm doing. Taking this piece of plastic, candy wrapper. Here's why I like it. See, I'm going to show you what I'm doing, and then I'll start teaching you how to duel with a knife. It ain't called knife fighting, it's called dueling. That's what you'll end up doing in the streets. It's called a dueling. He who uses the weapon will die by the weapon. Meaning, if you get in a knife fight, you need to know how to use it. You need to know how to go around it. And a lot of people always thought you're supposed to go around it, but a lot of times they didn't pay attention. Bringing my magic stuff out real quick. I'm bringing my magic thing out. Bringing my magic thing. Uh-oh. There it is. There's that magic thing on a toy knife. See how I'm keeping it all in one spot. And then I'm just wrapping it around. Just a spot. What I'll be teaching you how to do it with. I'm not going to tell somebody to take a real knife out and practice with it, because you can cut your own self. The true masters wouldn't do that. They'd give you a stick. And guys in North Carolina, the guys who started something called punya, or what the Yankees call rough and tumble, they didn't play that game like everybody else. They played for real. That was our own sport. It's still registered number 3 in the world as a deadly art, even by the military, because there ain't no rules in it. See, you're taking that toy knife and making it in just like that. You can go buy a toy knife from Walmart, toy store, Toys. Anybody who likes to play with toys, you can find cowboys and Indians and all that crap. Anyway, we didn't pay that much attention to it. He was trying to show Philippine way of doing stuff, and I agreed with him, because the first oldest weapons we had was a stick. Knives come in second. And the only thing I'm doing is cutting it in an angle. You see how I'm doing that? Taking this and making it into a toy, into another toy that I can play with adults. I'm about the last one who actually used. Me and about 3 other guys about the last ones around to actually duel with weapons in the 90s. Everybody else kind of quit. Now there's your toy knife. This is a toy. First thing, a knife is just like a sword. You got to remember, A knife is just a mini sword. That's all it is, a very mini sword. So what you're going to be doing is understanding how a knife uses. So what you got to do, turn this around a little bit over here so you can get a better view. Anytime you use a knife, and I said use a knife, you got a straight cut here, straight cut here, straight cut here, straight cut here. So you got one, there's one there, there's two there. One, two. So you got, automatically you got about 8 different cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See how I did that? It's real easy to use a knife. Do it a little bit better so you can understand it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember, to use your knife, you want to look at like this. You don't sit there and go like this. I've seen people doing this. It's stupid because this is not going to help you. He hits it on this side, that knife falls out. If he hits it this way, the knife's going to fall out. You want a tight grip like you do in a fist. You take it just like that. And what you're doing is going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The only thing you're going for is straight cuts. That's all you're doing. See? You're just doing straight cuts. The guy's coming at you with a knife and he's trying to go like this. You learn to defang. And defanging is chop off the fingers. You snap it. You got your hand like this. He's coming in. You snap. You can cut them fingers. Meaning, if this knife is coming at me and he's trying to hit me, and I hit here, I'm cutting his fingers. He's going to let go of the knife. The other part is when a guy's fighting with knives, they usually go like this when they start fighting with them. If you try to do it without that, you're going to end up getting hurt. Most guys will automatically back away just long enough to get their shit off. And they just turn around and do this number here. And the reason they're doing it like that is extra padding. And they still got their knives in their hand. They'll be fighting, bam, bam. Without that, you're going to have to keep your hand in this angle. Your artery is in here. You see what I'm saying? Your artery is in here. So you're going to have to keep it here and here and here. See what I'm saying? This is your radius thing. This is your bronchus area. So you got to remember, you're striking. He's come at you. What you do is you relax yourself. You got your knife in your hand. You relax. You're keeping yourself at a distance. You use your hand if you have to. If you can stay, you can do like I do. I usually pull my hand out here, and I usually put it right here just to practice. And the reason is I'm sitting there watching, and I'm trying to stop. So all I'm doing, I'm bringing it to a stop. It comes in, then I cut. So it's the same thing. Slash, slash. This is a parry. You're parrying. It's like you're doing karate. This is called a parry. This is called a parry. See, so you're doing the same thing as sword fighting. Common sense. Bam, strike. You got your cuts. 1, 2. You really got more than that. You really got about 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 up here on the head. 8 down here in your legs. So that's all you're doing. But you got to keep your hands straight. You got to snap it. So when the guy comes, you block. He comes out with block. You're doing a parry. See what I'm doing? I'm doing a parry. It's just like fighting a sword. You're sitting there, you're parrying. That's all you're doing, parrying. You need to know the basic area to hit. You need to know the arteries. So you're just sitting there parrying. Pop, strike. So I put my hand here and I strike. Radius, cutting this part here, right here. Radius, strike. There's the artery. I strike here, I cut this. I come in and strike here, and I lean forwards to do that strike. I'm hitting your jugglers and your windpipe. And I'm just pushing. You're coming this way. So you're actually cutting yourself. My hands are still like this. That's what I said. You practice it. Same thing, stick fighting. You're sitting there practicing. You just got to know where to cut. That's why I showed that area of where the arteries are. But you're only doing sword fighting. You're sitting there going like this. You got your hand. You put your hand just like that. Bring it in right here. Practice that first. See what I'm saying? You practice it. If you wanted to, you can do like we used to do. 1, 2. 1, 2. You're practicing cutting right here at the arteries, the main jugular vein. As soon as you get finished doing that, practice going to the radius. Practice going to the radius. Now, if he's too far in, and you know he's too far in, then you step forward, sling your hand up, making sure this forearm part here, not this side. This side is the arteries. You pray, and you keep your hand just like that. Hit, cut. You cut like this. You're cutting like this onto the knife. That's what they call sword fighting. So that's why he said you coming in to stab, 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 but yet you're still hands, still just like that. You're always going to have it like that. You don't sit there and do like everybody else. That's why you see me block. I hit the radius. I hit the radius here. Juggler. Straight thrust. See, I said thrust. I step in. I'm doing like I'm sword fighting. Sword fighting. That's why me and him. That's why he had his own. Hey, he even made books about it. Ain't but like 3 of us that did anything. One of the students went to jail in a duel. It wasn't a knife fight. The guy didn't pull out a knife because most guys with knives usually don't tell you until it's too late. You don't want that. That's why most people paint their blades black. The attack at night, you can't see it. During the day, you can see this. At night, you can't. But if you paint it black both times, you ain't going to see it because of the speed. When you're speeding. I'll give you an example. Where's my black knife at? Let me find me a black knife. Okay, give me my K-bar. Bring me some K-bar. You'll see the difference. See? It's black. There's a reason. You can't see it during the day or night. But if you got it like a kitchen knife, see the difference in color? Most knives have been attacked as kitchen knives, and they discolor. This is a combat knife. Most of the time, you don't hear about people fighting with knives. With combat knives, you don't see them fighting with these knives. You haven't seen anybody fighting with this kind of knife. Most people that cops go up against is a kitchen knife. The best thing to know about it is learn to fight against them. If you can fight against them, you can fight with a weapon or without a weapon. The secret is practicing. Practice 1, 2, 3. That's all you're doing. Practice that first. 1, 2, 3. Do like I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See what I'm doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all I'm doing. Practicing. Now here's a catch to it. If he's coming at you and you're in your hand to hand, and you know you don't have a chance, as long as you stay away from him. If you got this, you have a good arm balance. All you gotta do is wrap it around your arms. You can also use this as a weapon. But if you don't have a weapon, as long as you can sit there and watch him, keep your hands moving, keep your hands doing this number here, like boxing. That's all we'll be doing in boxing. If he's coming in and you can lean away, the knife's going to come past you. If he comes past you, you're sitting there sliding. You just go right up under. Using this, go right up under. Push your side, catch. That's what I call it, a parry. If he's coming for a stab, you can sit there and go like that. You see how I put this hand here, here. I bring this hand here into a parry. Now I've got the knife. Meaning the knife, I'll give you a better way of doing it, looking at a knife. This is the knife coming at me at a thrust. He's trying to stab me. He's trying to go like this. Stabbing, I'm too close. If I move and he misses, my hand catches. You see what I'm saying? My hand will sidestep. I'm sidestepping him, coming and catch. Going right into an arm bar. I got that knife. I don't let go of that arm. I can bring him down this way, or I can bring him down this way. It's an arm bar. I have you. Boys, next street. Well, I might do it tomorrow. Get a couple friends that work with me. And I'll probably show you what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, I can practice every which way I go. I even got it over here. You can even look at that if you wanted to. See that? Do you see that over there? See how they doing a cutting position? John McCain has his own videos out. He was a Secret Service bodyguard. Me and him used to hang out a lot. And that's one of the things me and him noticed. We could use these if we want to. We can always strike, come back up, come back up, come back up, come back up, side, 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 thrust, 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 thrust. You see how I'm coming in this way, coming this way, coming up under, coming down this way. Then we're thrusting. I don't use weapons. I don't like guns, so you got to think. These knives here is the same way, but they're smaller, so you got to use short distance. You want that short distance to cut. So that's why I say use the parry. Because that hand comes at you, you can always parry. Meaning, if this is coming at me and I'm standing here, all I got to do is slap. Hold my fist just like that, and just snap it off and hit the knuckles. I go for the knuckle or the wrist. I'm just snapping it off. Snapping off, snapping off, snapping off. Because he's got to come in. I'm still sitting there holding my knife just like this. So he can't hit. I'm aiming for the wrist. But I practice this all the time. See what I'm saying? Then I come back down, come back down, come back down, come back down. Side, side, that's your neck. Or face, 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 neck. Then I go arm, 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 arm. Legs, straight up. Legs, straight up. Cutting straight up is cutting straight through here. So what I'm doing is straight up, straight up. But I'll get something and have it hanging on a pole. I'll put this damn thing on a pole and I'll be striking for it. The reason is anytime you get in a knife fight, all I gotta do is stand there with my knife, and he come at me, pow! I'm using my fist just like that. And I'm chopping his finger. Dropping his fingers, you don't have no knife. And they usually freeze. You snap off 2 of these fingers, most of the time the guy, as soon as these 2 fingers go disappearing, he drops that knife. He's in shock. You just chopped off his fingers. That means you're there to kill him. Now his goal is to get the fuck out of your way and leave you alone, or you can go ahead and kill him. Best thing is just do like I do. I do like Philippines. I just practice. I ain't trying to do nothing but strike, 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 strike. But I'm keeping my knuckles. See how I'm keeping my knife? It's a Philippine thing. And I'm always hitting that deep bang. I want to deep bang that hand. and I'm always practicing. That's the way most guys do. If a guy's coming too quick and he's got a baseball bat on his thing and I know he's getting ready to hit, if I can make that extra step up and drop low, I can throw this hand up to block the baseball bat and cut that man's main artery in his leg. And inside of his leg, we'll say this is the man's leg. If I'm cutting inside the leg, that's an artery. I don't have to worry about him fighting too much. I already got one of that, that's it. Knife fighting is not nothing to play with. Knife dueling is nothing to play with. But they always practice. Just like I said, they go back, forward, strike, 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 strike. Legs, legs. Come back, forearm, forearm. Bicep. You see how I did that? I come in. Bicep to forearm. That's here to here. That's your broccoli to your radius arm. That's your blood vessels. I'm going from the inside. Inside. See how I'm doing? Inside. You separate the bicep. You hit the center. I'll give you a better look. Better look. Most guys in the military, we don't usually do none of this crap. Most guys, they're thinking that you're cutting from here to here. No, you're not cutting from here to here. You want to hit here. This is where the artery is. The artery is directly right here. So what you're doing, you're hitting here and you're bringing his arm in. You see how I'm doing? If you hit the elbow, you're cutting both sections, the brachialis and the radius. But yet you're also doing that. See what I'm saying? I hit it, and that damn thing starts twitching. Because there's tendons there. So if I hit here and cut, eliminate the arm. If it's bleed, it'll bleed out right here. If I cut him here, I'm cutting down, I'm cutting across, I'm cutting the whole main radius. The arm is useless. You're going to bleed out. There ain't really no much I can do. I already cut your whole damn vein out. So you got to think, I'm hitting here. I put the end of the arm. If I'm here and I can hit you here in the wrist, I'm cutting tendons. You look right there, you got your tendons. You watch where they go and they connect right here in the joint. These are the only muscles you got. You really have no muscles here. So that's all the tendons. So I'm trying to hit here. If I don't, I can hit solid enough here. Crack the bones, one thing, but I'm cutting the tendons. So you have to drop it. So you ain't going to have no control of this hand. If you don't have control of your arm, you don't have control of your hand, you can't fight. So think about it. When you're sitting there going against knives, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to fight. You're sitting there going just like that. You're sitting there sword fighting. That's all you're doing, sword fighting. So just think about it. You're sitting there cut. You aim for the wrist, the fingers, then the throat. You snap that off with that throat. Keeping your knife just like that. Like I said, you keep your fingers just like that. And you snap it off. When you snap it off, you're snapping off like that. When you get older and you make fists and you start looking, guys make fists. Look at them. Their knuckles. Look how they start sticking out instead of straight up and down. The older you get, the more it does that. But look at this. Same method. You see what I'm saying? Your fingers and knuckles are going out. You got a better grip. That's why you're using it as a snap. Snap. It's just like a stick fight, but it's sword fighting. That's all a knife is sword fighting. You need to know where your arteries are. If you know where your arteries are, you can come across anywhere. You can cut here. You can cut here. Even your radius, your bronchulus. You got your main arteries up here, your jugular, your coronary arteries. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. You cut one, that's the exterior. You need to cut both, 1 and 2, and the windpipe. That's why you hold it so tight. So even while you're cutting through something, this will back backwards, but yet you got enough force to go ahead and cut right through a cartilage, and that's what your windpipe is. You just cut it all the way through. See the difference? So if I was anybody that was learning how to use knives as an art or Filipino way of doing something, you better learn how to sword fight. The first thing you do, you need to learn English sword fighting. Then you got your Spaniard style of sword fighting. Then you got your Japanese. That's how the Philippines did it. First we're getting attacked by the English. Now we got to get attacked by the Spanish. Now we got attacked by the Japanese. Now we're getting attacked by the Chinese. That's why they call it it. That's why the Philippines use it. Salat is the best art when it comes to knives. Because them guys are sneaky with there. They have their knife put right here and you won't see it. That's somebody come out and you cut your throat and just keep walking. Walk by, turn around, stab, and walk by. He might leave the knife there. He might put the knife in you. Or he might just walk on out. Salat's a deadly art. But the Philippines, that's one of the things me and him was used to using. He died. He was almost the best, but he's also the last person next to a Filipino guy they call the master with red tennis shoes. He's dead also. They went to knife fighting contests, meaning the government take you and you're in jail. We're going to throw you in this prison camp and drop you in this hole. Here's your one knife, here's another knife. Now go at it and see who comes out alive. And you don't have no choice. That's what both of them did. Both of them also talked about working on the shipyards and going in knife fights. But him, this man here showed me how to move 55-gallon drums of zinc, which that's about 1,500 pounds, from a pallet from up here, and I want it and set it over here without busting the whole damn thing. He just showed me how to drop it. Not sit there and roll it where you will bust the sides of it and then you have to pick up the zinc. He showed how to just pick up and drop. That's 1,500 pounds, and he only weighs 180 pounds. He was just going through there just like that. And I'm like, what the shit? How old are you, old man? And that old man right here was 60 years old moving 55-gallon drums. Using the tips of the fingers to move a 1,500-pound drum and then drop it right on the floor. And I was trying to figure it out. You know, he explained it. It's Newton, the law of Newton. And I was like, shit. But he mixed his up so every time someone come at him with a knife, he'll stand right there and pop. He'd catch that arm. He'd bring this hand up to protect his body. At the same time, he'd catch that arm here, and then he'd lock in. When he did that, he's locked in your hand here. His body is right here. He's twisting your wrist and also putting his leg behind you. And he's throwing you and still holding on to your arm. You're letting go of the knife. He also did it the opposite way, where he had the knife this way, and it actually stabbed you. And he's just sitting there going like this. I ain't trying to fight. I'm parrying. That's all I'm doing. I'm parrying. So if he's parrying and taking knives away from people, nobody even pay attention. Just block, push, and then he'll snap on with this hand. If it comes that way, he'll block, then he'll snap off with this hand. This hand will be a catcher on this side. On this side, this is the hand. This is the blocker. This is the catcher. Everything is sword fighting. But you got to learn. You can find all kinds of ways of doing stuff. But doing it this way, I've seen people do it. I even saw Shad do it. Don't do that because I can slap the knife off. I do that, you see what I'm saying? I got my hand there and I slap. You see how easy it was? Well, I slap them, look how easy to take it out. I don't have to worry about it. You see these guys come in, and he's like this. You see where the blade is? You don't have it like this. He's going all over, ain't paying attention. You just grab right here, slam it right on into him. I'll be sitting there watching guys and they go, and then go like this. I just sidestep, push. See what I'm saying? I sidestep, he stabs. It's coming here. I sidestep, I grab, I snap, slamming it, which will be here and here. So that tells you he stabbed his own self. The only thing I did was head up, grab the elbow, pulling it up, hitting this part of the arm, hitting it down, it's going in while I'm pulling this up, so that's automatic stab. Same thing, we got to remember, this is a hinge. It's like a door hinge. Your wrist is like a door hinge. Your knees are like a door hinge. Look at yourself in a better way. Look right here. Cut it across, it's a pyramid. Up here, cut this across, it's a pyramid. See? Look between your legs, what you got? A pyramid. You put your arms out in front of you, from shoulder to tip of finger, from tip of finger back to shoulder. It's a pyramid. You got to be able to use that pyramid to break them down. Knife fighting is not something to be played with. Don't take out real knives or even show people, this is what I got to do. Oh, chop, chop. Oh, chop, 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 see? Because this will get you killed. And the bad thing, you'll cut your own self. And if you're using one that I thought I saw someone use, and he going, I got this is my knife. And it's a hook blade like this. I seen them people actually come in. I can do this. This is only one thing. But I seen them when it comes in, and the guy actually stabs himself. Seen a girl wear her ass out and had to go to the hospital. She was doing 2. She cut her arm all to pieces. She didn't make it to the hospital. She did that on a video in front of everybody, live. And she was just doing it, and I'm right there, slinging it around, and bam, 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 bam. That thing was a stabbing everywhere it went. It lightened her up. She didn't make it to the hospital because of it. So get these, I'm going to tell you, don't use these because you don't know nothing about them. You need years of training. Unless you're a farmer and you know how to use it like the Chinese people do. These are the kind you carry. The secret of using a knife like these is to quick draw. You got to be able to quick draw them out. And then you do your thrust, but you got to still make sure you got that snap. You still got to make sure you got your fist grip. That's what makes these good. These ain't nothing but survival knives. But kitchen knives and big old kitchen knives about that long, that's the blade. That's the blade. That's the one they've been kitchen off in New York, Charlotte, North Carolina, Miami, Florida. They come right out that damn butcher knife. They swinging. That's all they doing. They doing like this. And if I was a cop, I'd shoot the motherfucker too, because that's a butcher knife. That's the same thing as a machete. And he don't have to hit, but hit the bronchial artery, hit you in the stomach. One hit's gash. That's a big old kitchen knife. But, you know, that's me, and he's coming at me, and I spot him before he gets to me. I know I'll watch his hands going like this. It's the same as sword fighting. So I know when to move to the sides, and then I can snatch it. And when I snatch, I usually use both hands because I'm not going to let him get away. And he's got that knife in his hands. That's the secret of knife fighting. Love, like, and share. Man, Shad, you're out.